ABC 10 News starts now with breaking news.
Joe Biden has made his choice. In a tweet less than 3 hours ago, the presumptive Democratic nominee for president tweeted, "I have the great honor to announce that I have picked Kamala Harris, a fearless fighter for the little guy and one of the country's finest public servants, as my running mate." Good afternoon. I'm Steve Atkinson in for Kimberly Hunt. The California senator is the first black woman to compete on a major party's presidential ticket. Reporter Alex Brachet has more from Washington.
So we knew this pick for a vice president was coming, but the Biden campaign had been pretty tight-lipped about who it was actually considering and who it was ultimately going to choose. This afternoon, we got word that Joe Biden has selected the junior senator from California, Kamala Harris, to be his running mate. Now, Biden had promised early on to select a woman as his running mate, but given some of the headlines and also recent events, the backdrop of racial tensions, also some of the cries for social change here, there were speculations that Biden would also select a woman of color. Now, Harris checks both of those boxes. Senator Harris is both black and an Indian American. Now, the two were fierce rivals early on in this campaign. Harris challenged Biden in one of the first debates over busing. After she dropped out, she did campaign for Biden. And we also saw recently Biden's notes about Harris not to hold grudges. Senator Nancy Pelosi writing, Joe Biden's naming of Senator Harris as the Democratic nominee for vice president marks a historic and proud milestone for the country. Alex Brachet, ABC News, Washington.
And here's her history. Harris was born in Oakland, began her career in the Alameda County District Attorney's Office. She later became San Francisco District Attorney and in 2010 was elected Attorney General here of California. In 2016, she won the election to succeed outgoing Senator Barbara Boxer. Harris is the first vice presidential nominee of both African and Indian descent. She's also the third female nominee after Geraldine Ferraro and Sarah Palin. Harris's Twitter feed already sports the Biden-Harris logo. She tweeted she is honored to join Joe Biden on the ticket. Now, coming up at 5 o'clock, a political science professor from UCSD will tell us the positives and the negatives Harris brings to the race.
The county sheriff should be here arresting people who aren't wearing masks, who aren't distancing.
Councilmember Jennifer Campbell calling for an end to those big crowds gathering at that park in Ocean Beach. The city tried to shut down the park this morning, but as our ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco shows us, that didn't last long.
Crews put up this orange mesh fence around Veterans Park around 7:30 Tuesday morning. By noon, someone had torn it down. The move made just hours before Councilmember Jennifer Campbell's news conference to announce how the city is going to control the crowds gathering at this park.
This is a worldwide emergency. Every single person has to take part in ending it.
This has been the scene at the park just north of the OB Pier, primarily on Wednesday nights. Crowds packed together with few masks and little social distancing. Many here for the drum circle, often leaving behind gallons upon gallons of trash. The president of the OB Town Council says education, though, should come first.
But when you shut the park down, you're taking a space away from the community, and that hurts the community.
Dr. Joel Day is with the city's COVID-19 response and recovery team. He says residents and business owners are asking for help.
We're not going to ticket our way out of this, but what we do realize is that it is incredibly important for all of us as a community to come around and say what is acceptable and what is not.
Councilmember Campbell with a direct warning.
And by God, that is now the law. And therefore, the county sheriff should be here arresting people who aren't wearing masks, who aren't distancing, and who are coming together. Behave, or you're going to be in big trouble.
Violating the public health order can carry a $1,000 fine. It's unclear if a new fence will be back up in time before Wednesday night. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
And the city is also planning to have teams patrol the park to educate people about those public health orders. We asked the police department if officers will start ticketing people for not gathering or for not wearing masks. We've yet to hear back from them. And there is some good news on the numbers front. Today, the county announced 182 new cases. That's the first time in a long time that number has been under 200. There were also 8 new deaths. That brings the total now to 602. Sports at San Diego State are being put on hold. Today, the university confirmed officially that football, soccer, volleyball, and cross country, they will all be canceled this fall. Athletic Director J.D. Wicker says that they are committed to working towards playing in the spring, but he says it's a big disappointment for everyone.
I feel terrible for the student athletes and our coaches and staff that have worked so hard to get where we are today. I mean, you're talking about young men and women who have spent their entire lives, or the majority of their lives, getting to a particular point in their particular craft where they could get a Division I scholarship.
In the meantime, both the Pac-12 and the Big Ten conferences have also announced they're also postponing their football seasons this fall.
Russia has become the first country to clear a coronavirus vaccine. The announcement comes with skepticism from other nations. President Vladimir Putin says the vaccine has been declared for use and has proven efficient. Scientists are warning against the vaccine before phase 3 trials. Now, here in the U.S., health officials say the point is not to be the first to the vaccine. The Health and Human Services Secretary says data from phase 3 trials are necessary to make sure a vaccine is safe. The U.S. currently has 6 vaccines in development. 2 are in phase 3 trials. Health and Human Services believes that we could have an FDA-approved vaccine by December.
Another protest is planned for tonight in front of the La Mesa Police Department. Last week, La Mesa Police announced that they have let Matt Donges go. He's the officer seen in this video shoving a man named Amari Johnson during an arrest at the La Mesa trolley station back in May. But activists say the firing is not enough. They also want Donges arrested and charged.
As an officer, he had a due diligence to do the right thing. He had a due diligence not to lie on a police report. He had the due diligence not to falsely arrest Amari Johnson.
Charges against Johnson were eventually dropped. Tonight's protest is planned for 6 o'clock. We'll have live coverage right here on ABC 10 News. We're also following a developing story near Mount Helix where a person has been found dead under suspicious circumstances. The death was reported around 1:30 this afternoon on Carmen Drive in Casa de Oro. Homicide detectives are now investigating this case. We're still waiting to get more information from the Sheriff's Department.